You don't realize it, but every day you wake up inside a body that is already decaying, already dying, already breaking down in microscopic ways you will never see. Your cells are mutating, your memories are fading, the people you love are drifting away, and you call this living. You weren't born to live, you were born to run out. A slow countdown wearing a human face, a clock that ticks inside your veins, invisible, merciless, unstoppable. And the cruelest part is that you spend most of your countdown pretending it doesn't exist. You scroll, you laugh, you complain, you chase distractions, you hide behind dreams someone else planted in your head. But beneath every smile, every achievement, every meaningless routine, the same truth waits for you. You are running out of time every second. You are not escaping death, you are only delaying it. Everything you do, everything you cling to, everything you think matters, none of it stops the end that has been stalking you since the moment you opened your eyes. And the world around you is built on burying that truth under noise, entertainment, hope, ambition, shiny illusions that hide the fact that you are temporary. You don't have a life, you have a deadline, a countdown with no pause button, no second chances, no negotiation. Your existence is a vanishing act performed slowly, quietly, day by day, while you pretend you're immortal. You wake up every morning assuming you deserve another day. You walk through the world as if you were promised a future. But nothing was promised to you. You were thrown into existence without warning, without consent, without instruction. You're not living, you're improvising your way toward an ending you cannot avoid. And the most terrifying part is that the countdown doesn't just kill your body, it kills your possibilities. Every day you lose versions of yourself that you could have become. Every hesitation, every fear, every excuse murders a future that will now never exist. You think the scariest part of life is dying, but the real horror is losing all the lives you never lived. And society knows this. That's why it keeps you distracted. Because a human who is aware of their countdown becomes dangerous, uncontrollable, unpredictable, awake. So you're trained from childhood to care about things that don't matter. Grades, approval, fitting in, chasing goals that lead nowhere. You're raised like livestock, productive, obedient, afraid to question anything. Every structure around you, from schools to jobs to social norms, exists to keep you busy while your time drains out of you. You're encouraged to waste your youth, numb your adulthood, and fear your old age. By the time you finally understand the truth, it's too late. The countdown has already devoured most of your existence, and you stand there holding the scraps of what could have been. People say life is short, but they don't understand how short, how brutally limited, and how unforgiving it truly is. If humans could physically see the timer above their heads, society would collapse overnight. Nobody would chase money, nobody would pretend, nobody would tolerate meaningless conversations, toxic relationships, fake dreams, shallow ambitions, or empty routines. People would scream, they would run, they would wake up. But since the timer is invisible, you behave like you have forever, until the day you don't. And then there's the sick joke of consciousness. You were given a mind advanced enough to ask, why am I here? But not advanced enough to ever find an answer. Your brain is capable of imagining infinity, but trapped in a dying body that can barely survive a few decades without falling apart. You can understand the universe, but cannot understand yourself. You can create meaning, but cannot believe it. You can fear death, but cannot avoid it. Consciousness is not a gift, it's a curse. Animals live, suffer, die, and never think about it. Humans suffer twice, once physically, once mentally. You feel pain, but you also anticipate it. You fear loss before it happens. You rehearse grief in your head years before reality catches up. You mourn futures that never existed. Consciousness forces you to watch your own life fade in slow motion while being fully aware of it. You are the only creature cursed with the ability to understand how temporary you are. But you still pretend, you still cling to illusions. Love, success, happiness, fleeting emotions that distract you from the horror of knowing that you will lose everything. Every person you love will die, every dream you chase will fade, every achievement will be forgotten, every emotion will erode, every memory will rot. Nothing lasts. Not joy, not pain, not hope, not even you. And yet you keep going, not because life is beautiful, but because you're terrified of admitting that none of it means anything. Humans keep busy to avoid realizing they are waiting. Waiting for their bodies to fail, waiting for their parents to die, waiting for their dreams to collapse, waiting for their friends to drift away, waiting for time to take everything. And at the end of it, you're left with nothing but the realization that you never owned a single moment. You borrowed time that was already disappearing as you lived it. You don't have a life, you have a countdown. And every breath you take is a reminder that the clock doesn't care about your excuses, your fears, your delays, or your hopes. It moves whether you move or not. It kills whether you resist or obey. You can waste your time, numb yourself, distract yourself, lie to yourself, but the countdown keeps ticking, indifferent to your denial. And one day, without warning, without mercy, without negotiation, it will hit zero. And everything you ever were, every memory, every thought, every dream, every fear will vanish as if you were never here at all. Existence is the cruelest magic trick. It makes you believe you matter, then erases you completely. You spend your entire existence running toward things that disappear the moment you touch them. You chase happiness like it's a destination, not realizing it's nothing more than a chemical flicker in a brain that won't even exist one day. You chase purpose, forgetting that purpose is just a story humans invented so they wouldn't collapse under the weight of meaninglessness. You chase love, ignoring the truth that every person you love will someday become a ghost in your memory, and later, even that memory will fade. Everything you desire is temporary, everything you fear is temporary, and yet you build your whole identity on things that are already dying. That's the tragedy. Your life is a collection of attachments to things you can never keep. You grasp with both hands, knowing everything will slip through your fingers anyway. You love deeply, knowing loss is guaranteed. You dream boldly, knowing failure or death will eventually steal everything from you. You try to build a legacy, ignore mortality, pretend you'll matter. But the world has erased billions before you without blinking. You won't be different. Human beings are obsessed with the future because the present is too terrifying to face. Right now, in this very moment, you are closer to the end than you have ever been. Right now, you are older than you have ever been. Right now, the version of you that woke up yesterday is dead and will never return. But instead of facing these truths, you distract yourself with fantasies of tomorrow. One day I'll be happy, one day I'll figure it out, one day life will make sense. But there is no one day, there is only now, the one moment you refuse to fully live in because if you did, you'd have to acknowledge how fragile it really is. You avoid the present because it exposes the illusion of control. You don't control anything, not your fate, not your time, not your emotions, not even your thoughts. Most of what you think are just echoes of your environment, shaped by parents, schools, media, culture, trauma, genetics. You didn't choose who you are. You didn't choose what matters to you. You didn't choose the things that haunt you or the dreams you chase. You are a product of everything you never consented to, trying to find meaning in a life you were thrown into. And even when you attempt to change, to grow, to evolve, you are fighting the gravity of your own nature. Your brain was built for survival, not meaning. It was designed to detect threats, not create purpose. Happiness is an accident, peace is a luxury, fulfillment is a myth sold by self-help gurus who fear the void just as much as you do. Everything you cling to is fragile. Your relationships hang on misunderstandings and coincidences. Your dreams depend on luck and timing. Your beliefs are shaped by where you happen to be born. Your personality is a collection of defense mechanisms developed in childhood. You think you know yourself, but you only know the version of you that helped you survive your past. You don't know who you are, you know who you had to become. Life is not a journey, it's a decline. A slow descent into physical weakness, mental exhaustion, emotional numbness, and existential resignation. When you're young, you think you're immortal. You waste time like you own it. You postpone everything important. You let fear and doubt paralyze you. You live like the countdown is fake. But aging hits you like a slow-motion tragedy. First, your body changes. You wake up tired, your bones ache, your skin dulls, your energy fades. Then your relationships begin to die. Friends drift away, people betray you, loved ones leave or disappear into their own lives. Then your dreams collapse, some slowly, quietly, others violently, without warning. You fall into a pattern, wake up, pretend, survive, sleep. Repeat until the countdown takes the last piece of you. Humanity romanticizes youth because it's the only time you're too naive to understand the truth. You're dying in installments. And yet, Everyone around you keeps performing the same play, pretending life matters, pretending their job matters, pretending their goals matter, pretending they have direction, purpose, passion. People are not living their role-playing. They act confident, but they're lost. They act happy, but they're hollow. They act strong, but they're breaking quietly. Society has built an entire system around pretending everything is fine while everyone is drowning in fear, loneliness, regret, and unspoken despair. The world doesn't reward truth, it rewards performance. It rewards smiling while you suffocate. It rewards productivity while you fall apart. It rewards obedience while your soul is rotting. People don't want honesty, they want comfortable lies. They want illusions that help them ignore their own countdown. You don't matter, not in the way you think, not in the way movies taught you, not in the way motivational speakers promise you. In a universe of trillions of galaxies, billions of planets, and countless lifetimes before yours, your existence is less than a whisper. The Earth won't remember you, history won't remember you, your city won't remember you. Even your family after 2 or 3 generations will reduce you to a name they barely pronounce. Human memory is short, selective, and unreliable. Cemeteries are filled with people who thought they were important. Their stories died with the people who remembered them, and even those people died too. Everything fades. Everything disappears. Everything ends, including you, especially you. But that's the part nobody wants to admit, the futility, the insignificance, the cosmic indifference. So you build routines, habits, traditions, religions, philosophies, anything to quiet the terror of knowing you are temporary. But deep down you feel it, in the quiet moments, in the insomnia, in the heartbreak, in the loneliness, in the silence after a good day fades and you're left with yourself again. You feel the emptiness hiding behind all your ambitions. You feel the hollowness behind your achievements. You feel the despair behind the walls you built. You know the truth. You're just too afraid to look at it directly. The countdown doesn't need your permission to keep moving. It doesn't care if you're ready. It doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't care if you've wasted your potential. It doesn't care if you've never lived the life you wanted. Time is the most brutal executioner. It doesn't kill you all at once. It kills you slowly, silently, 1 second at a time. And one day, you will take your last breath not knowing it was the last. The world will continue. People will move on. Your belongings will be thrown away. Your messages will be deleted. Your pictures will fade. Your memories will dissolve. And the universe will remain exactly the same, untouched, unaffected, indifferent. You don't have a life. You have a countdown. And the scariest part isn't that it ends. The scariest part is how much of it you waste pretending you have more time. You live your entire life inside a mind that lies to you just enough to keep you functioning. It feeds you illusions of control, illusions of purpose, illusions of tomorrow, because if your mind ever showed you reality without filters, you'd collapse. You'd shut down. You'd stop participating in the performance everyone else is trapped inside. The human brain is not built to process the full truth of existence. It is built to protect you from it. That's why you create attachments to meaningless things, why you cling to nostalgia that distorts the past into something softer than it was, why you imagine futures where everything will magically make sense, why you form identities out of trauma, preferences, culture, titles, and roles, as if any of it will matter when time erases you. You lie to yourself because your survival depends on it. Every day you pretend you are stable, while everything inside you is decaying. Every day you pretend there's meaning, while everything that ever meant anything to you will eventually vanish. Every day you pretend you matter, while the universe has already moved on without noticing you exist. You are terrified of stillness, and that's not an accident. Silence exposes the truth you spend your entire life running from. When you're alone in your room at night, staring at the ceiling with no noise, no distractions, no people to impress, that's when reality pierces through the illusions. That's when your mind whispers the things society works so hard to bury. You are temporary. Nothing you do will last. Everyone you love will disappear. Time will erase every trace of your existence. And because humans can't survive constant awareness of this truth, you stay busy. You drown yourself in routines, entertainment, social media, meaningless conversations, forced positivity, endless scrolling, anything to avoid facing yourself. Modern life has become a distraction machine. You aren't living, you're numbing. You aren't choosing, you're reacting. You aren't awake, you are sedated. and the countdown keeps ticking beneath the noise, unmoved by your denial. Most people don't fear death. They fear realizing they never lived. They fear waking up one day and seeing a stranger in the mirror, a stranger who wasted decades on things that meant nothing, a stranger who spent more time worrying than living, a stranger who built their identity around expectations they didn't choose, a stranger who traded their entire existence for comfort, approval, survival. And by the time they see the truth, the countdown has already eaten most of their life. The tragedy is not that we die. The tragedy is that we spend our entire lives pretending we won't. Humans have mastered the art of postponing everything meaningful. They say later, as if later is guaranteed. They say when the time is right, as if the clock owes them anything. They say one day, as if the universe is patiently waiting for them to get their life together. But the clock doesn't wait. It doesn't care about your timing, your plans, your dreams, your feelings. The clock moves even when you don't, especially when you don't. Your mind clings to illusions because illusions hurt less than reality. You are raised to believe you'll achieve something big, that you'll be special, that you'll live a meaningful life, but most people never do. Most people die ordinary, forgotten, erased. And there's nothing wrong with that except for the lie that convinced you you'd be different. Every child thinks they're destined for greatness. Every teenager thinks they'll escape the fate of the billions before them. Every adult eventually realizes they are not the exception. They are the rule. They are one more life swallowed by time, one more story that will fade, one more name that will be forgotten. We all die twice. Once when our body stops, and once when our name is spoken for the last time. And for most people, the second death comes shockingly fast. You live inside a human body that degrades every day, but you pretend you'll always have time to fix everything later. You lie to yourself. I'll start tomorrow. I'll change next month. I'll apologize when I'm ready. I'll chase my dreams when I feel prepared. But the countdown doesn't care about your emotional timeline. While you hesitate, time steals opportunities you'll never get back. While you procrastinate, the door quietly closes. While you waste your days, the countdown keeps selecting pieces of your life and erasing them permanently. Childhood disappears first, memories dissolve until only fragments remain. Then youth starts fading. People you loved become strangers. People you once needed become distant names. Faces blur. Moments blur. Emotions dull. Your body begins to betray you. Your energy drains. Your curiosity dies. Then your dreams begin to rot. They collapse, not because they were impossible, but because you ran out of time. And no one teaches you how to cope with this truth. Instead, you are fed illusions. Society tells you to follow your passion, but forgets to mention that passion dies too. It tells you to find yourself, but the self is not a destination, it's a temporary formation of experiences that will fall apart piece by piece. There is no stable you, there is only a shifting consciousness trapped inside a dying machine. People pretend life is a series of choices, but most of your choices are made for you long before you make them. Your fears, insecurities, beliefs, habits, and desires were programmed into you by childhood, environment, culture, genetics, and trauma. You think you're choosing, but you're following scripts written by forces you don't control. The illusion of choice comforts you. The illusion of freedom sedates you. The illusion of meaning keeps you sane. But illusions don't stop the countdown. They only distract you from it. And here's the coldest truth of all. You will never feel ready for anything. Not for love, not for change, not for risking failure, not for chasing meaning, not for facing yourself. Readiness is another illusion your mind uses to protect you from discomfort. Life doesn't reward the ready, it rewards the awake, the ones who understand that time is not a resource, it's a predator, a silent hunter that follows you everywhere, taking pieces of you while you're not looking. You don't have a life, you have a countdown, and the most painful realization is that nothing can stop it. You can't outrun it, you can't outsmart it, you can't negotiate with it. All you can do is watch as it drains everything you once believed you had. And the more aware you become, the more terrifying it gets, because you start noticing how quickly things disappear. You start noticing how fragile everything truly is. You start noticing how small your existence is compared to the vast, indifferent universe. You start noticing how meaningless every achievement becomes in the face of eternity. And no matter how deeply you try to hold on to something, people, moments, memories, identity, time eventually rips it away. The countdown isn't killing you at the end, it's killing you every day. You move through the world like you're the protagonist of some grand story, but the truth is far colder. You are a background character in a universe that doesn't even acknowledge your existence. You are not chosen, you are not destined, you are not protected by fate or purpose or cosmic justice. You are a brief interruption in an infinite timeline, a ripple in an ocean that swallows every wave without hesitation. And yet you live as if the universe owes you something: happiness, success, love, understanding. But the universe is silent. It offers nothing. It promises nothing. It gives you a countdown and watches what you do with it without care or consequence. You were not placed here with meaning. You were placed here with time, and time is indifferent to what you wasted on. People tell you to be grateful for life, but gratitude doesn't stop the decay. It doesn't stop the suffering. It doesn't slow the clock. Life demands everything from you and gives nothing back except moments that disappear the second you try to hold them. Happiness fades, love fades, passion fades, beauty fades. Even your memories betray you. They distort, blur, vanish. Your mind cannot even accurately remember the moments that shaped you. The things you cried for, the people you loved, the days that felt unforgettable, your brain quietly erases them one by one. And that is the cruel design. You lose your life twice. First, while you're living it, because you don't realize you're losing it. Second, when you try to remember it and it's already gone. You are taught your whole life to aim for something: success, stability, legacy, something future-based, something just out of reach. But what nobody tells you is that the pursuit itself consumes the very time you were supposed to be living. You chase goals that change every year, priorities that crumble, ambitions that mutate. You think you're building something meaningful, but you're just burning your countdown in the process. Even your victories betray you. The moment you achieve something, the feeling disappears and you're left searching for the next thing to fill the emptiness. Humans aren't driven by purpose, they're driven by the fear of stillness. And stillness is dangerous because stillness reveals truth. It reveals that the ladder you've been climbing leads to nowhere. It reveals that the trophies you collect turn to dust. It reveals that you've spent decades running in circles only to find yourself exactly where you started: temporary, confused, aging, disappearing. And then there's the cruelty of attachment. You cling to people as if they can save you from the void. You fall in love as if it will protect you from loss. You build relationships as if they are immune to time. But every relationship, every single one, has an expiration date. Sometimes it's distance, sometimes it's betrayal, sometimes it's change, sometimes it's death. But eventually, time takes everyone from you. Your parents, your siblings, your closest friends, your partners, one by one, they will all vanish. Either they leave you or you leave them. There is no scenario in which you keep anything forever. That's what makes attachment so tragic. It's built on denial. You love as if you're not guaranteed to lose. You trust as if people don't change. You give your heart to beings that are just as temporary, just as fragile, just as condemned as you are. The countdown is not just killing you, it's killing everyone you care about, and you're forced to watch it happen. The world hides this truth behind rituals and celebrations. Birthdays, weddings, graduations, moments society markets as milestones of life. But look closer. These milestones aren't signs of life. They're markers of how far into your countdown you've gone. Each birthday is a reminder that you are aging into disappearance. Each celebration is a distraction from the fact that time is winning. People take pictures to freeze moments they cannot keep. They laugh loudly to drown the ticking in the background. They fill their schedules because an empty day feels like a mirror held too close. Life becomes a performance where you pretend everything is meaningful while knowing deep down that meaning is a fragile illusion designed to protect your sanity. And the most brutal part is this: you know the truth, yet you still avoid it. You feel it every time you look at old photos and realize how much you've lost. You feel it every time you think about your childhood and realize you can't return. You feel it when you stare at yourself in the mirror and notice the subtle changes, lines, fatigue, emptiness growing behind your eyes. You feel it when you hear about someone's death and for a moment, just a small moment, you imagine your own. You feel it when you try to sleep and your mind whispers the truth you silenced during the day. Your countdown is shrinking, but instead of facing it, you seek distraction. You choose entertainment over awareness, pleasure over truth, comfort over consciousness. Because facing reality requires courage most people never develop. You pretend your life is something you control, but time controls you. You pretend your choices define you, but time erases them. You pretend you're building a future, but time destroys it before you arrive. Every plan is a gamble against the unknown. Every dream is a fragile promise made by a mind terrified of its own impermanence. You live in a constant negotiation with the inevitable, trying to squeeze meaning out of moments that slip away as soon as you experience them. You are not living, you are managing your decline. Every breath you take is borrowed, every step you walk is toward the end, every memory you make is already dying, and still you cling to the illusion that you have your whole life ahead of you. But what is a life except a limited number of breaths? What is a future except a shrinking space-time lets you imagine? What is existence except a temporary arrangement of atoms destined to fall apart? The human condition is a contradiction. You long for permanence in a universe that offers none. You seek meaning in a place that is indifferent. You want love that lasts in a world built on loss. You want to matter in a reality where nothing does. This contradiction breaks you slowly, quietly, inevitably. You call it stress, burnout, sadness, anxiety, but it's existential grief, the grief of knowing on some deep instinctive level that nothing you do will outlive time. You don't have a life, you have a countdown. And the countdown is the only honest thing you own. It is the only truth that remains when illusions fade. It is the only constant in a world of decay. People try to distract themselves with hope or faith or philosophy, but none of it changes the outcome. Hope doesn't stop aging, faith doesn't stop loss, philosophy doesn't stop death. You can wrap your fear in beautiful words, but time will still unwrap them one by one. And when the final moments come, when the countdown reaches zero, you won't be thinking about the things you chased. You won't be thinking about the opinions of others or the money you made or the roles you played. You'll think about how quickly everything went. You'll think about the moments you wasted. You'll think about the versions of yourself you abandoned. You'll think about the truth you spent your life avoiding. You never owned a single second. You only borrowed time you were always going to lose. You move through life believing there is something waiting for you at the end, fulfillment, clarity, redemption, some final moment where everything makes sense. But there is nothing waiting. No grand revelation, no meaning hidden behind the suffering, no closure, no cosmic reward for surviving the pain. The end is just that, the end. A silence that swallows everything you ever were. And the cruelest truth is that most people reach their final moment still confused, still afraid, still wondering what the point of any of it was. They look back and realize life was never something they lived. It was something that happened to them while they were distracted. They spent years chasing illusions, fearing judgment, protecting their egos, pleasing people that didn't matter, postponing happiness, waiting for the right time. But the right time never comes. It never has. It never will. And in their final breath, a horrifying clarity hits. The countdown was the only thing that ever mattered, and I wasted almost all of it. People think death is a sudden event, but death is a process, one that starts the moment you become self-aware. Childhood dissolves into adolescence, adolescence dissolves into adulthood, adulthood dissolves into fatigue, routine, and quiet resignation. The story of your life is the story of constant loss, losing people, losing places, losing versions of yourself, losing the innocence you once had, losing the dreams that kept you alive. You don't notice the deaths because they happen slowly. The version of you that laughed without overthinking, dead. The version of you that believed life would turn out differently, gone. The version of you that trusted easily, buried. You shed identities like skins, one life after another, until one day there is nothing left to shed except your body. Humans don't die once, they die repeatedly. And the final death is just the final confirmation of what time has been doing all along. Look at the people around you, their smiles, their routines, their forced optimism, their curated online lives. Behind every face, there's a quiet despair they don't speak about. The fear of wasting their existence, the fear of being forgotten, the fear of being unremarkable, the fear of reaching the end with nothing to show except regrets. No one is truly fine. No one is genuinely at peace. Everyone is carrying an invisible weight, the awareness, conscious or suppressed, that life is slipping away and they have no idea what to do about it. That's why people chase pleasure, validation, status, noise, not because these things matter, but because they distract from the dread, from the emptiness, from the ticking that grows louder every year. The world conditions you to fear the wrong things. You fear embarrassment more than wasted time. You fear rejection more than stagnation. You fear failure more than a life unlived. You fear judgment more than regret. You fear discomfort more than the decay of your own existence. You fear standing out more than disappearing. And by the time you realize you feared all the wrong things, the countdown has already stolen youth, potential, moments. You stand in the ruins of what could have been, holding the pieces of a life you barely lived. Most people do not understand this until their hair grays, their energy fades, their opportunities vanish, and doors quietly close behind them forever. They look back at their countdown and see an ocean of wasted time, mixed with a handful of meaningful moments that passed too quickly to hold on to. And as you grow older, the world becomes emptier. Friends you once swore would be with you forever become memories you rarely revisit. Family members disappear one by one. Places that meant everything become unrecognizable. Your childhood home gets sold. Your school becomes someone else's. The streets you grew up on fill with strangers. You realize, slowly and painfully, that you have been leaving pieces of yourself everywhere, and there is no way to go back and collect them. Nostalgia becomes grief. Memory becomes distortion. Even your happiest moments become sources of pain because they remind you of a version of life you will never experience again. Time doesn't just take the future from you, it takes the past too. What makes this horror complete is that you will never know how much time you truly have left. Your countdown is hidden, yet it dictates everything. Maybe you have decades, maybe you have months, maybe your life is already closer to the end than you realize. The uncertainty is the blade pressing against your existence. It keeps you anxious, it keeps you obedient, it keeps you trapped in cycles of hesitation and hope. Humans cling to routines not because they're comfortable, but because routines hide the truth. Every day could be the last. Every night could be the final one. You live on the edge of disappearance, pretending the ground beneath you is stable. But time can collapse it at any moment. And in the end, when your countdown reaches zero, the world will not pause, the sky will not darken, the universe will not mourn. Your death will be a moment that exists only for you. People will cry, then forget. They will move on. Your room will be emptied, your clothes will be donated or thrown away, your phone will be wiped. Your social media accounts will become digital graveyards. Your name will be a story told less and less until it's not told at all. Eventually, there will be no one left who remembers your voice, your laugh, your dreams, your pain, your existence. Everything you were will collapse into nothing, not because you didn't matter, but because nothing lasts. You don't have a life, you have a countdown, and the countdown is shrinking whether you acknowledge it or not. Ignoring it doesn't slow it. Fearing it doesn't rewind it. Running from it doesn't stop it. All you can do is face the brutal truth. You were given time, not meaning. You were given existence, not purpose. You were given consciousness, not answers. And what you do with your countdown is the only thing separating awareness from denial. But here's the darkest truth of all, the one most people never dare to face. Even if you lived perfectly, fully, fearlessly, the end is the same. The countdown wins. It always wins. The universe reclaims you. Silence replaces your voice. Dust replaces your body. Nothing replaces your existence. You are not living toward meaning. You are living toward disappearance. And the only honest thing left to admit is this: you never had a life. You only had time, and time was always running out.